Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures.
Steve here, and today's lineup is nothing short of insane. From eerie haunted house footage to mind-blowing UFO sightings from around the world. Trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this.
So let's get into it.
You know the joy you have when you get a new apartment. For the woman recording this clip, that joy will soon fade, as it didn't take long for things to get weird in her new apartment.
It's still doing it. What is it doing? What are you doing?
While she was in the bathroom, something completely unexplainable happened. The toilet roll hanging on the wall started to unravel on its own. As you can see from the clip, it appears she's in a bathtub on the opposite side of the room. As she films, you can clearly see the tissue rolling down. She insists it's not a matter of gravity and that there's a being or force pulling it down. The way she freaks out makes me feel like this isn't the first time. This has got us wondering, how often has this happened and what could be the true reason? Some in the paranormal community insist there's a ghost in the bathroom with her. Others think it's basically gravity and she's overreacting. I showed this clip to Julius and he didn't appreciate me wasting his time. He told me he lost brain cells watching the clip. Not sure what he meant by that, but what do you guys think? Could there be a being in there with her, or is she just blowing this out of all proportion?
I don't like it.
Still on homeowners, this homeowner was asleep when he suddenly woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. On his way back to bed, he had a strong urge to check his Ring camera, and what he found was absolutely chilling. In his yard, the footage shows a human figure walking toward the wooden fence at the edge of the property. But then, as soon as it gets to the fence, it vanishes right as if it was never there. Take a closer look. As the person walks in front of the bright light from a neighbor's house, their shadow moves naturally, and they even momentarily block the light, but as soon as they reach the fence, they disappear into thin air. The homeowner initially thought it might just be an interference or glitch, but on replay, the figure looks translucent the entire time. This man must have had some seriously sharp intuition to check the camera at just the right moment. He shared this online, and some feel he needs to start praying more. Others felt it might also be doctored footage, that it might just be two clips combined for 5 minutes of fame. Well, you've seen the clips, so what do you think?
Brandweer gekomen omdat er een duif of een meeuw hangt.
This footage comes from the Netherlands, where some residents noticed a bird stuck in mid-air. One of its wings appeared to be caught on something, but oddly enough, there were no visible wires or obstructions above it, at least in part one of the video. This clip went viral and many wondered what happened. Part 2 was released, and it shows that the bird remained there until a truck arrived with a lift and workers tried to reach it. This scene feels like one of those classic glitches in the Matrix we see, especially involving birds frozen mid-flight. But is that really the case this time? We don't know exactly how this situation ends, but many skeptics argue that this isn't a glitch at all. The fact that people need a lift to help the bird suggests there could be an invisible wire or some sort of structure the bird got tangled in. The alien enthusiasts, however, insist that there might be an invisible UFO at play here. I mean, the theories are all over the place, but you've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think?
Gekomen omdat er een duif of een meeuw hangt, maar aan een draadje of zo. Maar hij zweeft in de lucht. Hij leeft nog. Wat is dit, joh?
By now, we've all heard about Elon Musk's ambitious Neuralink project, but during a recent Joe Rogan podcast, Musk said something that left many thinking.
Now, if you've got like some version 10 Neuralink, whatever, and far in the future, you could recall everything, just like it's a movie, including all the entire sensory experience,
emotions,
everything, and play it back. And
Do you think you'll be able to
you
share?
can edit it.
Edit it.
Yeah.
So you can change your past?
You could change what you think was your past, yeah.
Well, so if you had like a traumatic
this whole thing
experience,
right now.
Fascinating, isn't it? With Neuralink, we might soon be able to record our memories and play them back like a movie. And here's the wild part. You wouldn't just see the memory, you'd actually feel it. Every emotion, every sensation, every detail of that moment could be experienced all over again. But it doesn't stop there. There's a possibility of editing those memories. Imagine softening a painful experience or enhancing a cherished one to make it even more vibrant. It's like having the power to rewrite your past right in your brain and eerily controlling your reality. It's like using the pensieve from the Harry Potter universe. Some argue that the whole thing might not be safe, especially the part about creating fake memories. We'll basically just be gaslighting ourselves. Anyway, what do you also think?
Got like some version 10 Neuralink, whatever, and far in the future, you could recall everything, just like it's a movie, including all the entire sensory experience,
emotions, everything,
and play it back.
Do you think you'll be able to
you
share?
can edit it.
Edit it.
Yeah.
So you can change it.
This next video was shared online by a man who was out in Virginia near the Shenandoah River. At the time, the river's surface was completely frozen, which is not entirely unheard of. However, it wasn't the frozen water itself that caught his attention, it was what was on the ice. Scattered across the surface were circular shapes, perfectly formed and spread out in a way that looked anything but natural. The man works in the area and is very familiar with the river, but he admitted that he had never seen anything like this before. This discovery has led many online to speculate that these could be UFO landing marks. After all, how else could you explain something like this? Moving on, a resident in a small village in Indonesia was out for a walk when he stumbled upon something truly jaw-dropping. Take a look at this. A massive orangutan perched on a tree right next to his house. Yeah, an orangutan that size isn't normal. It's almost as tall as the house itself. Are orangutans in Indonesia really this large, or is there something unusual about this particular one? Could it be their diet, the environment, or just the angle of the camera? While I was thinking about this and trying to be logical, Julius walked in, took a look, and asked me if I understood how light and lenses worked. I mean, I've forgotten a lot of my elementary school science, but he didn't have to do me dirty like that. When he saw the blank look on my face, he shook his head, then said these words slowly. "The monkey is closer than the house, giving the illusion it's bigger." He said it in a way that made it look like I was incapable of comprehending. When he walked away, I thought through it and realized he was right. I mean, he's hardly wrong if he's ever been. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys remember back in 2024 when the government officially acknowledged reports of people seeing demonic faces? They called it demon face syndrome and explained it is a kind of rare visual or neurological condition. But what if there's more to it than that? This brings us to a bizarre video that recently surfaced. In it, an unsettling-looking man claims he was exiled from the ice wall in Antarctica and is now living amongst us. Yeah, you heard that right, the ice wall. Just take a look at his face. His eyes, unusually dark. His teeth, long and pointed. His entire appearance, not quite human. If he's telling the truth, this could be proof of those wild conspiracy theories about strange beings or even aliens living beyond the ice wall. Think about it. Speculations about what lies beyond Antarctica have been around for decades. Some believe it's hiding advanced alien civilizations. Others claim it's a gateway to different realms. And if any of that is true, this man's story just got a lot more interesting. Now, here's where things get even weirder. Remember the Miami gray alien incident? That one was of 2024's biggest alien-related stories. And yet, just like this, the footage kept disappearing. And speaking of disappearing, the creator who originally posted this video, well, their content was mysteriously taken down. Starting to feel like a cover-up? Yeah, me too. What do you guys think? Could all this be connected? Still on the alien topic, people across the United States have been reporting strange, eerie sounds coming from nowhere. Take a look at this footage. Hold on, don't go anywhere. This man was out at night when he heard the bizarre noises and decided to record them on his phone. What's eerie is that there's nothing visible in the sky, just these sounds echoing through the air. The noises were on different frequencies, almost like the sound of something slicing through the air at top speed. As the video goes on, the sounds become even weirder and more unsettling, but despite the intensity, there's still nothing to see. As always, the general consensus is that there is cloaked UFOs in the sky. Until we're able to see them, confirming it would be hard. If you, however, have another theory, please share. Hold on, don't go anywhere. And we are back to strange homes. This clip comes from a woman who recently purchased a 250-year-old house and has since been experiencing some truly strange occurrences. In one encounter, she heard strange noises coming from her room, so she rushed to check. As she entered, she noticed movement near the window behind the curtains. Gathering her courage, she pulled the curtain back, but there was nothing there. But what happens next is even eerier. In a later clip, she discovers a loose floorboard. She lifts it to reveal a dirt-filled cavity beneath, and there was something buried in the dirt. She dug it out and found an old, dusty book with incredibly thick pages. Looking at it, the first thing that comes to mind is a grimoire. She didn't open it in the video, so we don't get to find out what was inside. To many in the paranormal community, it's not that surprising for a home that's been standing for so long to have these kinds of experiences. It's often believed that spirits tied to the history of such homes might linger, creating unsettling experiences for the new residents. But what do you think this book really is?
Hello? Hello? Typical, now I can't hear a thing. Right, I'll turn the light off. I've got a knife in here. I've got a knife. I've got a knife.
This next story takes us to Scotland, where a man decides to go camping in the woods.
What? I'm just practicing my accents.
Sorry about that. He'd set up his tent at a very peaceful spot between two creeks, but as he settled in for the night, things took a strange turn. He began hearing this odd whimpering sound just outside his tent, so he called out, but as soon as he did, the sound stopped. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then he heard a low growl, followed by a whimpering again, but louder this time. Growing uneasy, he kept calling out, hoping to scare away whatever was out there. When the noises continued, he grabbed a knife and cautiously stepped outside to investigate. Despite thoroughly looking around, he found nothing. There were no signs of an animal, person, or anything that could explain the sounds. Unfortunately, with no way to leave until morning, he had no choice but to stay put. He spent the rest of the night lying awake, listening intently. Considering that the woods are home to wild animals, it's possible this was a wolf or other predator stalking him. I mean, some in the paranormal community are leaning toward the supernatural, but what do you think?
Hello? Jesus Christ. Fuck that. Right, I might have to leave. But I can't leave, so I'm stuck here for the whole...
Someone came across a strange-looking creature on the beach, and people are freaking out about it. It was this pink, fleshy thing. If you look closer, it's shaped like a lobster, just without the shell. If you're wondering why, like I was, the answer is simple. It's because it is a lobster. And no, this isn't some new type of lobster. Nothing to be alarmed about. What you're seeing is a lobster in the process of molting. Yeah, lobsters molt. That's how they grow bigger. Unlike humans or animals that grow with their skin, lobsters have a hard outer shell that doesn't expand. So they crack out of their old shell, emerging soft and fleshy like this, and over time their new shell hardens. Interesting, huh?
I bet he went back to all his lobster friends afterwards and said, "You should have heard those humans on the beach giving it all that." Get it? Yeah.
This video shows a demonstration of how an aurora appears. A magnet was placed on a circular track, and as the magnet moved at high speed, an aurora-like formation appeared in the center. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In Detroit, a similar circular structure was built almost identical to the setup in the experiment. It was said to be an art installation, just like a creative project, but do we believe that? A lot of people have speculated that the auroras we see in the North Pole aren't just beautiful lights in the sky, but rather some form of portal. Seeing similar circular structures built in odd places makes it more curious. To add to the mystery, one man claims he traveled to the North Pole and found an opening in the ice wall leading to a new world. If true, it could mean that the auroras are more than just natural phenomena. They might actually be portals to another dimension or place. I know it's a stretch, but many paranormal enthusiasts, including Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, believe this might be true. I didn't ask Julius because, well, I know what he'd say, but what do you guys think? Have you ever thought about the voice inside your head? Some call it conscience, others say it's just you talking to yourself. But what if it's not? Let me introduce you to Holosonic's directional audio. This is a fascinating piece of technology. This tech uses specially designed speakers that emit highly targeted sound frequencies. But only people standing within the targeted zone can hear it. Anyone outside that range hears absolutely nothing. What's even creepier is how this technology is believed to be used. Imagine you're in a supermarket, casually browsing. At a specific spot, you suddenly hear a voice in your head subtly suggesting you buy a certain product, something you probably didn't even plan for. The voice feels personal, like your own thoughts, but it's not. This directional audio doesn't require headphones, earpieces, or any visible device. If no one told you about it, you'd have no idea it's happening. I mean, to have this in technology is both fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
What? A voice told me to buy it.
So that you can see there's no, like, I don't know, contact or anything in there. Do you see? Nothing. No, but if I move it to the side, watch. Do you guys see that? It's crazy, right?
This guy claims he's been shape-shifting into a reptilian. He has even an entire series of videos on TikTok where he shows parts of his body changing. Let's take a look at this one. He shows his elbow. It does look unusual because it's protruding. Then he points out these strange ridges along his arms, which he says resemble scales. And his eyes? Watch closely. See that? It's like his pupils have a vertical slit, similar to what you'd expect from a reptile. We would have thought it was a contact lens, but he does establish in the first few seconds that it's not. Freaky, huh? But here's the thing. This isn't shape-shifting. What we're likely seeing is just a case of tennis elbow, some varicose veins, and maybe some clever use of lighting and angles. Mystery solved. Sometimes reality is a lot simpler than we think. I'm pretty sure Julius will be proud of me on this one.
If I move it to the side, watch. Do you guys see that? It's crazy, right?
What you're looking at is a robotic dog built in China called Black Panther 2.0. This machine is impressive and terrifying at the same time, as it can sprint 100 meters in just 10 seconds. Its design includes joint mechanisms that allow it to move like a real animal, and it's even capable of outrunning some. But this isn't the only robot dog out there. There are robotic dogs designed for battlefields, capable of swimming, carrying weapons, and performing tactical maneuvers. Now, imagine combining these robots, the speed and agility of Black Panther 2.0, with the weaponry of battle-designed robot dogs. Humans would not stand a chance. Just look at this. The potential power of robots in the future feels unstoppable. Are we prepared for what's coming? Many in the community don't think so. In fact, look at this comment. He's not wrong, is he? And just like that, we're back in Antarctica. This man recently shared a conversation he had with a military soldier who was stationed at a research facility in Antarctica. What the soldier revealed was interesting. The soldier spoke about exploring the icy land and stumbling upon areas of green vegetation and open land beyond the ice wall. He described the vegetation as looking similar to the Appalachian forests, lush and thriving. This revelation challenges a lot of what we think we know about Antarctica. He also talked about some of the misconceptions surrounding the continent. For example, while Antarctica loses 80% of its ice annually, it doesn't cause catastrophic flooding as some theories suggest. Wild. Yeah, I know. Additionally, the soldier claimed that traveling to Antarctica is technically legal, but the extreme dangers of the environment mean that many who venture out to explore don't make it back. One of the most intriguing claims he made was about a hole in the ice wall, a sort of gateway that ships could pass through, leading to what lies beyond. This is thought-provoking. It's there more to Antarctica than we've been told. I'm tempted to go there and investigate, but it's too dangerous and I doubt any ordinary person can survive the cold. Many have attempted and have not made it back. I'm not ready to be a statistic. I've always been told going there is illegal, though, which has me wondering the authenticity of some of the other things he shared. But anyway, what do you think?
And most people who do try to go there don't even make it back because the conditions are so harsh and it gets so cold.
These days, it feels like there's nothing technology can't do. Take a look at this. There's an app that lets you access CCTV cameras from around the world. Yeah, you heard that right. From around the world. In this clip, a man is using the app, flipping through different live camera feeds like he's browsing TV channels. You can see streets, shops, parks, and even some private spaces. It's absolutely wild. But the big question is, how is something like this even legal? Sure, some cameras may be public, but others don't seem to like they're meant to be accessed by just anyone. Can anyone in security educate us on how this works? Is this a privacy violation or a security loophole? This chilling video was shared by a woman admitted to a hospital in Mexico. Late at night, when the lights off in the ward, she noticed something unsettling in the corner of the room. Behind the curtains near the window, there was a pale face peeking out, quietly watching her. At first, it was easy to miss, but as she zooms in on the figure, you can make out the faint shape and the eerie paleness of the face. According to her, not only did the creature have a pale face, but it also had long black hair. Understandably, she freaked out and couldn't sleep a wink for the rest of the night. Hospitals are already infamous for being hot spots of paranormal activity. And when it comes to Mexico, tales of haunted hospitals are practically part of the culture. This sighting fits right into those eerie narratives. Some in the paranormal community believe her story and wish she could have taken better quality footage. Others refused to bother themselves with her and thought she was just seeing what she wanted to see. You've seen the clip yourself. What do you think is going on here? A paranormal encounter or just a trick of the shadows? This video is an old piece of footage that's been circulating on the internet for quite some time. It was supposedly taken by a Brazilian farmer who claimed to have discovered something bizarre on his land. The footage shows a massive octopus-like creature emerging from the earth, seemingly staring back at him. Now, let's address the obvious question. Aren't octopuses supposed to live in the sea? Well, not entirely. There's actually a species called the octopus Abdopus axuliatus that lives on land for short periods, hunting crabs on beaches. However, these are much smaller and nowhere near the size of the creature in the footage. At the time, the farmer claimed this was an alien, and honestly, don't octopuses already kind of look like aliens with their tentacles and otherworldly features? But no need to panic. This footage was later proven to be fake, so rest assured, there aren't giant alien octopuses lurking under the earth. At least, we haven't discovered them yet. This video shows a man holding a sheet of paper against a mirror, with a banana placed behind the paper hidden from the mirror's direct view. But here's the strange part. When he pans the camera to the side of the mirror, you can clearly see the banana in the reflection. I've seen a lot of videos like this, and most people jump to wild conclusions, saying the mirror is either bewitched or that it's a glitch in the Matrix. But honestly, the explanation is much simpler. It's just science, at least according to someone in the paranormal community. He states that mirrors don't just reflect what's directly in front of them, they capture and rotate the images of objects in their reflective view. In this case, the angle of reflection allows the banana to be visible even when it's seemingly blocked by the paper. So while it's cool and might look supernatural at first glance, there's no magic here, just good old-fashioned optics. I know I should confirm this with Julius, but not after he asked me if I know how light lenses work. I'm gonna go on a hunch and say this is accurate, but what do you guys also think? Now, check this out. A man claims he was observing a star through his telescope when he noticed something bizarre. A dark, human-like hand moving across the star, almost like it was walking over it and staring into it. Even weirder, the star itself looked fluid under the telescope, and the hand seemed to pass right through it. Take a look. Pretty wild, right? Now, is this the hand of God? Well, no. What's actually happening here? Stars can sometimes appear fluid when viewed through certain telescopes due to the atmospheric distortional lens effects. As for the mysterious hand, that's just CGI. Someone clearly made this look dramatic and unsettling. Cool concept, but sorry, no supernatural forces at play here. A group of men shared some odd footage they captured on their way home, and it's left viewers divided. The video shows a strange creature emerging from the bushes on the side of the road. This black-furred being is crawling on all fours and, to everyone's shock, starts chasing after that car. The footage is blurry, but you can still make out the eerie movements of this figure. Some viewers are convinced it's a cryptid. Others think it might just be a person in a costume pulling off an elaborate prank. The real question is, what would you do if something like this came after you? First of all, consider this a disclaimer. The upcoming clip doesn't look pretty, and if you think it might worry you, skim ahead by a minute, but if not, enjoy. This bizarre clip has people scratching their heads. Someone stumbled upon a muddy wall and noticed a small hole where a tiny hand occasionally reached out. Take a look at that. It's oddly human-like. Some suggest it could be a mole, as their clawed hands are adapted for digging and look somewhat similar to a miniature human hand. Others argue it might be a rat, mouse, or some other small animal burrowing, trying to make its way through the soil. This footage has been making waves online for quite some time now. A witness at a shallow river captured it. The video shows a creature that resembles the typical mermaid. It has a fish tail and a human-like upper body. In the video, the creature flaps its tail on the water's surface, dives beneath it, and begins to swim gracefully. What's even more intriguing is that it seems aware that it's being watched. This creature has left viewers both amazed and skeptical. Many believe it could be a real mermaid or even a siren. However, skeptics argue it might just be someone in a well-crafted costume. What do you think?
Oh my God. Mom, that's a foot. That's not no barefoot, Mom. Look at my foot. Look at my foot. Mom, look at my foot. Look at this.
A woman came home to find a strange trail in the snow leading away from her house. The tracks were massive, much bigger than her legs, and spaced about 5 feet apart, which is an enormous stride. What's even stranger is the shape of the footprints. They weren't shaped like any animal hooves you'd expect to see. Instead, they formed a very long V-shape, which ruled out common animals like rabbits or deer. So, what do you think could have left these unusual tracks? A strange animal, something paranormal, or maybe even a hoax? I'm no animal expert, so please help me out on this one.
Oh my God. Mom, that's a foot. That's not no barefoot, Mom. Look at my foot. Look at my foot. Mom, look at my foot. Look at this.
Some sky watchers noticed this strange-looking cloud formation in the night sky. It looks like a pair of piercing eyes, almost as if they were squinting down at the world below. The formation doesn't just have an uncanny shape, it's oddly constant, maintaining its staring appearance far longer than your typical shifting clouds. This detail has made many feel uneasy, with some describing the phenomenon as invasive, like being watched from above. Of course, skeptics say it's nothing more than a coincidental cloud formation, an example of pareidolia, where the brain finds familiar patterns like faces and random objects. However, others have suggested that it might be something more, like an actual heavenly being gazing down, perhaps a sign or message. Take a look at this mind-boggling footage captured by a driver. What you're seeing isn't a visual effect. These hundreds of birds appear frozen in mid-air. If it was just one bird, you might chalk it up to something simple like a strong wind current, but entire flocks stuck in the air? Well, that's now truly bizarre. Some speculate that this could be tied to a strange atmospheric anomaly, while others believe this is a glitch in the Matrix. Your opinion counts too. You've seen it, so what do you think?
Connecting to rider support. Please wait.
Have you ever heard about driverless taxis? A passenger recently shared a nerve-wracking experience in one of these futuristic vehicles. According to her, the car unexpectedly stopped in the middle of the road, so she contacted customer support. While she was still on that call, the car suddenly started moving again. The support representative assured her that the vehicle had stopped momentarily to find the best and safest location to pull over. While this explanation might sound logical and even comforting to some, the reality of sitting alone in a moving car with no driver is an entirely different experience. For many, this is a thrilling glimpse into the future of technology. However, it also raises important questions. Even with human drivers, unexpected situations can catch you off guard. So how safe are these autonomous taxis, and would you ride one?
Hi, Sophia. How can I be of service?
The car seems to be stuck trying to find a spot to pull over.
Ah, okay. So it looks like you're trying to pull over the...
No, we're at... Oh, never mind. It's moving now. It seems to... Was that you? Was that you?
No, it probably just was trying to determine the safest location to pull over, just because safety is the main priority.
Okay. I think we're good, though. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for riding with Waymo, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
You too. As well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Here's a chilling story. A father was working a night shift and wasn't home, but he had a home security system with the live feed linked to his phone. At home, his wife and their few-month-old baby were in the living room, the only two people in the house. In the footage, you can see the mother holding the baby on her lap, gently rocking back and forth. Everything seemed peaceful, and the baby was quiet at first. But then, out of nowhere, the baby started crying again. What's unsettling is that the father got a notification from the security system. It detected a third person in the house. Confused, he kept watching. As the mother lifted the baby from her lap to place them over her shoulder, the baby's gaze shifted toward the door, and there it was, a pale face peeking inside the room. The baby clearly saw it too and became even more upset, fussing and crying. The father rushed home immediately to ensure his family was safe. To this day, they have no idea who or what the face belonged to. A resident in Mexico recently shared some intriguing footage that has left many people scratching their heads. The video shows an unusual object hovering in the sky. This object appears flat, far too large to be a drone, and it spins slowly in the air. The sighting has sparked a wave of speculation, with many claiming it's undeniable proof of a UFO. Given the surge of UFO-related news and sightings in recent years, it's hard not to wonder if this could be further evidence that aliens are already amongst us. As always, you've seen it too, so what do you think? Why does this bird look like it's meditating? Some locals in the small town couldn't help but notice this crane perched on top of an electric pole, standing perfectly still with its wings spread wide open. The sight was mesmerizing, almost as if the bird had reached some higher plane of enlightenment. The way it held its pose reminds me of a scene straight out of Kung Fu Panda. Was this just the crane cooling off, or is this the secret guardian of the town practicing its inner peace? Well, there's also the possibility of it sunbathing its feathers. Either way, it's quite the sight. We all remember the recent TikTok ban in the US, a drama that didn't even last a full day, but let me spill some wild details about those chaotic few hours. While many creators on the app were busy saying emotional goodbyes to their followers, others completely spiraled into hysteria. Some people have even went so far as to call 911. Yeah.
Call for a check on a caller 10 Street. RP is saying they love TikTok and is very incoherent.
Copy. I'll gain my composure and figure it out.
10-4. He said I need it back. And I asked him if he was seriously calling 911 because TikTok was down.
The emergency line begging for help or complaining about the ban. Can you believe it? Just imagine needing emergency assistance and having your call delayed because someone is freaking out over TikTok being banned. Absolutely insane, right? Fortunately, things were smoothed over when President Trump pushed TikTok onto a 90-day probation, giving a US company the chance to buy the app. Crisis somewhat averted. What do you think of the TikTok panic? Was it justified or simply over the top? This next capture looks normal at first glance, but a second and third look and you'd realize that there's nothing normal about it. Take a look. We first met with what looks like a coyote. You look closely and realize that although it does look like a coyote, it has features that are somewhat reminiscent of a wolf. Despite the blend of features, it's not a coy wolf either. You look at its eyes and you'd realize that they're not a normal color you'd expect from such a canine. It almost looks possessed, as though there was some other entity possessing its body, or perhaps another being had shapeshifted and taken its form. A mother doe used to hang around the Trailcam where this was captured until this evil thing started showing up. Am I just being paranoid, or do you see it too? Please say something in the comments section because this is just weird. Take a look at this Trailcam capture that was sent in by a subscriber of the channel who wants to remain anonymous. What do you make of it? What do you think that is? I would have said ape because of its dominant features. It looks a lot like a chimpanzee. The slender arms, legs, and its thin and long body give it that vibe. Its face, sunken eyes, and other unusual features, however, make it look otherworldly. At times, I get a sloth-like vibe from it, but perhaps that's just my imagination. The story behind it is this simple. It was taken from a location that doesn't have any apes. The subscriber refused to say where exactly, but what do you make of the image? Does it look like any cryptid you know? Have you ever encountered anything remotely like this? Tell us in the comments section. We'd love to know because, frankly, well, we don't know what this creature is. Somewhere in India, someone captured this bizarre situation. There on a field was a strange-looking object made of fire. What makes the situation even more peculiar is the presence of a being, pure white, walking away from the fiery object and eventually shooting up into the sky. Now, the armchair UFOlogists and paranormal enthusiasts are in full swing. Could it be an angel, a celestial being making a pit stop in the earthly realm, or are we looking at an intergalactic tourist who decided to make a fiery entrance before taking off again? The skeptics might be rolling their eyes, whispering about elaborate hoaxes or perhaps an unattended bonfire gone rogue. But the believers are already weaving tales of divine visitations and extraterrestrial encounters. Next, we visit the coast of Point Dume, California, where there's apparently an underwater structure that has sparked speculation and fueled many conspiracy theories. It was reportedly discovered in 2014, yet attempts to venture in it have been thwarted by challenges created by its geographical location, which include but are not limited to strong currents, along with potential risks of decompression illness due to its depth in the water. So what are some of the theories circulating about the structure? Some of these theories include the fact that it's an alien base being converted to a government facility, among others. While Aaron and I love wild theories, even we have a lot of questions. For starters, if the government is trying to convert an alien base into one of its facilities, why would its images be accessible to anyone using Google Earth? Don't get me wrong, we're always open to these possibilities, but the facts just don't add up. Can any one of you who lives there confirm this for us? Would really appreciate it. There have been sayings that animals are more sensitive to the spiritual and paranormal. I don't know how true it is, but this footage might just be the proof we need for that theory. A man was playing outside with his dog when he noticed something strange, a transparent figure playing along with his dog. As the man walks into the yard, however, the playdate ends. The apparition manifests itself as it passes by the dog and disappears as though it were trying to make sure the owner didn't see it. The creature's size indicates that it's not human, probably a ghost dog or something far more sinister. Have you encountered anything like this, or is there a logical explanation for the whole thing? We'd love to know. Next, we have a Trailcam footage that was captured on a cold winter day in the woods by someone who is seemingly scared out of his wits. Have a look. Within this wintry scene captured by the uploader emerges a towering and enigmatic figure, its dark fur juxtaposed against the pale landscape. For some unknown reason, however, it appears to be upset, and this entity vents its apparent frustration upon a tree, shaking it vigorously. The strength exuded by the being makes the tree look like it's nothing but some plastic object. I mean, the strain could even lead to the breaking of the branches entwined with it. Analyzing this mysterious creature's physical attributes, it bears a striking resemblance to an ape, albeit of colossal proportions far exceeding those of a typical primate. So what could we be dealing with here? A singular explanation comes to the forefront. We're witnessing none other than the Bigfoot. Realizing this, the uploader of the footage left its territory and made his way to a safer place. We've shared a lot of Bigfoot footage, and today we won't be asking if you think this is real or not. Instead, we want you to know what you'd do if you ever encountered one. Next, we have this alleged Bigfoot dashcam capture, and yes, I used the word alleged. Watch, and you may just see why. Do you see it? In the footage, we see a faint but very present figure moving in the distance as the vehicle is driving towards it. Within a few seconds, he disappears into the foliage. The individual driving is very convinced it's a Bigfoot and states his dashcam captured it. My problem with this is dash cams don't move around as they are stationary, unless of course he's using some modern type of equipment. Looking at the quality of the footage though, I can say I highly doubt that. What do you think? Venture into the mysterious realms of the unknown as we delve into an intriguing discovery by a Bigfoot research center. At first glance, the image reveals a tiny body reminiscent of a human baby, yet covered in a coat of brown fur that adds an uncanny twist to its appearance. The creature appears lifeless, leading all who saw it to come up with theories of what it might actually be. Skeptics lean toward the notion of it being a fabricated creation, suggesting that what they are seeing in the image is a mere human-made prototype, a cleverly crafted creation that mimics the elusive figure of a Bigfoot. The Paranormal Society, however, believes this is real, and I must say I'm with them on this one. What do you think about it? Still speaking of the dead, these guys from the YouTube channel Hunting the Dead hope to venture into the woods with guidance from the infamous Randonautica app. Just in case you didn't know about it, the Randonautica app generates random coordinates, often directing users to eerie destinations like graveyards and abandoned houses. This time, however, it led these guys to a road where they found a doll under the rock. Now, if you know about Annabelle and Chucky, you know that this is already a red flag and a sign to back down. But from the name of their channel, it's obvious these guys are going to take the doll with them. In their vehicle, they used a spirit box to communicate with the doll, recording their questions and its eerie responses. One question loomed. Was the doll inhabited by a spirit? To their astonishment, the answer came in a chilling yes.
Attached to this doll, like my friend thinks. What? Is it yes?
Common sense might have dictated they return the doll then and there, but driven by curiosity, they pressed on, firing off more inquiries as they carried the unsettling doll back to their home. A decision that, in my view, could be described as a considerable misstep. I just hope they're okay and that nothing odd and weird is happening to them. If you ever come across something like this, avoid it like the plague. We want you healthy and fine. At this point, the presence of extraterrestrials should not even be shocking to us anymore. Just take a look at this footage taken in California of the sky. Can you see the night sky lit up from the lights of what looks like some kind of aircraft? It looks like a craft detaching itself from another craft. The shapes of the two crafts are highlighted in the sky from the lights on them. Looking at how fast the craft is moving, you can tell that it's not something that was created through human engineering. It feels like, dare I say it, an alien aircraft. A few weeks ago, I would have laughed and called this fake, but currently I can't do so anymore. Could this be actual aliens? Is this thing even real? Are we in imminent danger? You know what? Never mind. I think I'm losing my bearing when it comes to these alien videos. But do tell me, what do you think? Do you believe in dragons? So before you say no, watch this footage. Yep, that's an actual dragon, or at least one that looks like it's emerging from the water. Although we don't get to see its full body, we can tell from just the head that it's a very big creature. Now, the only questions we have is this real, and where was it filmed? Can this dragon fly? Can it breathe fire? Are there other types of dragons, and how have they remained hidden for so long? I know that's a lot of questions, but you can't tell me you aren't curious about them too, can you? If any one of you has more dragon videos, please send them in. We want to see them. In the heart of the dense woods, an intrepid explorer stumbled upon a discovery that ignited a wave of speculation and intrigue. Here we see a skull that's unlike anything we know. The sheer size of the skull and its distinct features defy categorization within the known spectrum of creatures. As speculation swirls, some fervently believe that this colossal cranium belongs to none other than the legendary Bigfoot. The skull's proportions and the presence of elongated fangs add an air of mystery, fueling the notion that it might be a relic from the elusive creature that has long captivated the imaginations of enthusiasts and skeptics alike. The discovery leaves many questioning the boundaries of what we know about the natural world and pondering the existence of cryptids that may elude scientific classification. The Lockheed CL-1201 was a proposed high-speed aircraft developed by Lockheed in the 1960s. It was developed to be a supersonic transport capable of carrying about 250 passengers at speeds faster than Mach 2. Comparing it to a famous building, the wingspan of the CL-1201 would be comparable to the height of the Statue of Liberty, while its length would be equivalent to about two-thirds the length of a football field. The design included a delta wing and 4 engines with a focus on transatlantic flights. Unfortunately, the project didn't advance beyond the concept stage due to various challenges in the US government's decision against developing a supersonic transport. Today, the CL-1201 serves as a historical example of attempts in the 20th century to create practical supersonic commercial airplanes. What do you think of it? Is it something you would love to sit in? Tell us in the comments section. We travel back in time to the Canadian mountains in the year 2020. If you are wondering what makes this mountain special, it's simple. A gondola came crashing down the mountain. The incident shook everyone given how neatly its cables were cut. Just in case you didn't know, such cables are typically made of thick steel, and that will require a lot of effort to cut through. Not to talk about the noise and the fact that at least 3 men are needed to do it successfully in at least 15 minutes. Here's the thing though, the security saw and heard nothing. How were they cut then? Well, no one knows. This man suggests that the culprit might be none other than the elusive Sasquatch. Why? Because according to him, no human could pull off such a risky feat without getting caught. After the incident, security was beefed up and they even had thermal cameras. But after spending millions to fix the cable and upgrade the security, the incident repeated again, with no culprit caught. The only difference was this time they captured footage of a massive creature roughly 8 to 9 feet tall. There are not a lot of humans that fit this bill. Could it be the work of a Sasquatch, as the man says, or is there a more ominous reason? Share your thoughts.
Ryan! Oh my God, Ryan!
2 New Yorkers seeking refuge from a snowstorm in the balmy confines of Fort Lauderdale found themselves face to face with a phenomenon they likely hadn't expected: a tornado. Witnessing their first tornado, they trained their gaze on the awe-inspiring spectacle unfolding before them. The tornado, a force of nature with its agenda, danced unpredictably from place to place, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. As you watch the footage, you can see the tornado's power as it effortlessly lifts objects into the air and transforms the serene waters below into a chaotic battleground. Hopefully, no one got hurt, but it's safe to say that these individuals were mighty glad they were nowhere near it. The connection between animals and the spirit world has long been a subject of fascination, with many believing that animals possess an innate sensitivity to the unseen. In a piece of intriguing security cam footage, this idea comes to life as a dark, man-like mass appears in the middle of the street, engaging with a group of stray dogs. The dogs, seemingly aware of the entity's presence, focus their attention on the mysterious figure. The entity bends down, placing something on the ground. Ghostly treats, perhaps. While some may be quick to attribute the footage to skilled editing, others entertain the notion that it captures a genuine interaction between the ethereal and the animal kingdom. Having watched the clip yourself, what do you think is going on here? A Trailcam owner came across this strange image on his device. Take a look. At first glance, he couldn't make out what it was until he enhanced the footage. Once it was enhanced, it appeared to have captured a large creature walking through the dark. The creature was about 7 feet tall. It fits the classic description of a Bigfoot. All who saw the footage in the paranormal community believed it had to be a Bigfoot. My team thinks so too. Personally, well, I don't know. There's something off and I just can't put my finger on it. What do you think we're dealing with here? Nature's heartwarming moments. Take a moment to soak in the beauty as a generous monkey shares its apple with a tortoise. It's like a scene straight out of a harmonious jungle tale. There's something profoundly beautiful about witnessing different creatures showing kindness and sharing in their unique way. Don't you agree? I don't remember the last time someone shared their apple with me. Well.
I don't know, but you tell me what you think that is. It looks like something out of an arcade game.
In this recent and intriguing footage, a peculiar light was observed moving in circular patterns in the night sky. The unusual movement raised questions about the light's origin and nature, as stars typically don't exhibit such behavior. Skeptics, ever watchful, cast doubt upon the authenticity of this celestial waltz, proposing the involvement of CGI in crafting such enchantment. Yet others lean toward the possibility of something more enigmatic. Could it be a celestial phenomenon, a dance of light refracted through the Earth's atmospheric layers? Alternatively, does it signal a visitation from realms unknown or just someone having a little fun with a flashlight? This next clip was recorded back in 2018 when a man went camping in the woods of Oregon, alone.
Shoots, Oregon. Well, close to Bend, Oregon.
He did his best to film everything, but little did he know those short clips he filmed would be documentations of the last moments of his life. As he settled in at nighttime, he heard noises outside his tent. It sounded like rocks being moved about. But how?
Sounds right outside the tent. There's something right outside the tent.
Perplexed, he shouted for whatever or whoever it was to leave, but the noise continued.
Leave me alone!
Based on the footage, one can even state that his shouting might have attracted the intruder because it came towards his tent and attempted to get in, but the camper saw it and ran out. After he was sure he'd lost it, he settled down and started looking around. Perhaps he wanted to make sure that whatever it was had really gone. But then, out of nowhere, a tall, pale creature came toward him, and that's where the footage ends. The man was never seen again, and the only evidence of the incident is this footage. Did you catch a glimpse of what appeared to him, though? It looked gray and alien. What do you think happened to him? Talk about blending nature with the digital age. Check out this beetle. It's not your ordinary everyday insect. No, this is an electronic masterpiece. Imagine these robotic insects made of cameras and microphones weaving their way into places we'd never suspect. Guess what they could be used for? Spying and planting chaos everywhere. While some argue it's just an art piece, the unsettling truth lingers. If artists can do this, then what about tech experts and scientists? Surely with the advancements we've made in microchips, something like this is possible, yes? Either way, it reminds me of Spy Kids. What about you? Conspiracies about celebrities being reptilians have existed for millennia. In this clip, we see a little girl interacting with Elvis Presley when suddenly she looks seriously at his face. Upon closer inspection, one may notice that one eye looks bigger than the other, almost as if it's morphing or molting. What makes this situation suspicious is that a man comes and blocks his face from the camera and another guy touches his eye. The very one that looks weird. What do you really think is happening? Was he shape-shifting, or was there something else at play here? If only we could find that little girl and ask. What in the web is going on here? In this footage, you can see what looks like some sort of transparent cloth covering the trees. But no, my friends, that is a blanket of spiderwebs. You heard me right, spiderwebs. This phenomenon is known as ballooning or gossamer and is a behavior exhibited by certain spider species. During ballooning, spiders release silk threads into the air, and these threads can get caught by the wind, carrying the spiders with them. When many spiders engage in this behavior simultaneously, it can result in widespread webs covering trees and vegetation. This is often observed in conditions where spiders are seeking new areas or trying to disperse. For a minute, I thought I would have to get Tom Holland for answers. The very debatable post. Have a look and tell me what you see. A two-headed deer, right? I mean, we can all see it, so what's going on here? Well, different people think different things. Some perceive it's an otherworldly creature that's trying to take form in our world, which is why it has two heads. Others think it's a skinwalker that failed to transform properly. There are also some who think that it might be an optical illusion created by the angle and position of the deer and then the photographer when the picture was taken. That sounds logical when you think about it, but then there are some who think that's not it. They believe this is simply a glitch in the Matrix. Frankly speaking, I can see where they're all coming from, but looking at it yourself, what do you think we're dealing with? Share your thoughts. Someone found this strange-looking sea snake in the waters and brought it home. The snake has these strange green things on its skin. They look like fur or hair of some sort, but aren't snakes supposed to have scales? Well, there's a hypothesis. Some believe these are sea snakes. Yes, they're sea snakes, and they're known to spend a significant amount of time submerged in water. The hypothesis is that algae or other marine organisms can attach themselves to their bodies. Seaweed and other plant-like organisms are believed to be able to provide camouflage by blending the snake's appearance with its surroundings. It's believed that's what we're seeing here. If this is the case, the belief is that it's supposed to make it less conspicuous to predators or prey. Additionally, this type of symbiotic relationship can offer protection by potentially deterring predators that may mistake the snake for something unpalatable. Unless, of course, they love salads. What do you think? This terrifying footage from Russia allegedly shows us the moment a meteorite struck Earth in 2013. As you can see, as cars are going back and forth, there was a huge flash in the sky. The 2013 Chelyabinsk meteor event made people more aware of the dangers associated with objects from space coming into Earth's atmosphere. I certainly wouldn't want to be anywhere near any of these when they crash. I'd definitely love to live a bit longer. This footage captured a peculiar and beautiful sight as a mysterious light embarked on a mesmerizing journey along the horizon. This luminous apparition, adorned with an otherworldly glow, moved with grace and agility, its form shifting and morphing as if guided by an unseen force. As it moved swiftly, the contours of its shape transformed, creating an ever-changing spectacle that captured the imagination. Such sightings often evoke a sense of wonder and curiosity. The mysterious nature of the dancing light invites contemplation. Could it be a celestial phenomenon, a natural occurrence with a scientific explanation, or does it perhaps belong to the realm of the unexplained? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already. It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. In this next Trailcam footage, we're presented with another mysterious situation. Here we have a deer minding its own business in the woods when something strange happens. A ghostly figure appears from the darkness and approaches the deer. The apparition moved very fast and looked like smoke. As soon as it gets closer to the deer, it vanishes. Now, I know we have people who would say it was probably just a fog, but did you notice the deer's ear twitch as it turned its head toward the direction the figure came from? Fog or not, that deer sensed something uncanny in the air. If our next clip proves anything, it's that the pace of technological advancement can sometimes leave us wide-eyed, or in this case, possibly red-eyed. In this extraordinary scenario, this man has a smart eye lens on with a charger discreetly positioned on his eyelid, which is also connected to another device on his temple. It's like living in a sci-fi movie, isn't it? Before you think of getting yourself one, take a good look at his eye. Just look how red his eye is. It leaves us wondering if this is even safe to use at all. Now, it seems we're not just inseparable from our gadgets, they're actually becoming a part of us. How do the rapid advancements in tech make you feel? Do you think we're improving the quality of our lives, or do you think that we're headed on a path of irreversible self-destruction? Share your thoughts. Back in 2005, a company driver decided to take a leisurely walk through the woodlands of Quebec, Canada. As he was walking through, he came across these beautiful waters in the middle of the forest below. He decided to take a few pictures and some videos. After he retired home to review the footage, it was then that he saw a strange creature looking up at him. The creature was standing behind some bushes on the right side of the image. Do you see it? Initially, he thought it was a Bigfoot, but this one looked very different. It was bipedal and about 6 to 8 feet tall. It had a dog-like face, unlike a Bigfoot, and had a longer snout. The head of the creature was triangular with silver hair on it going all the way to its shoulder, but the rest of its body hair was black. The creature was also holding a white furred animal in its hand that looked like a dog, and its face had a red stain on it. So our guess is that this creature was munching on this dog. What creature are we looking at here, though? Many in the paranormal community believe it's a dogman. Looking at it, I don't blame them for thinking so. You have seen it too, so what are your thoughts?
I'm getting a video. There's this huge thing making a re-entry right now.
In this next clip, a man on the road becomes an unwitting witness to a mesmerizing event. A mysterious ball of light gracefully gliding through the sky, leaving behind a radiant trace. It almost seems as if the object is signing the heavens with its luminosity.
Huge fireball up in the sky. That's actually sick.
One question lingers. Was this celestial phenomenon a mere meteor in its fleeting brilliance, or could we be looking at extraterrestrial visitors camouflaged in such a manner so they would appear unsuspecting? It's hard to say, really. On one hand, I see a meteor. On the other, I know how far our extraterrestrial neighbors will go to keep their presence a myth. So what do you guys think is happening here? Share your thoughts with us. Capture from a farm where a perplexing discovery was made. Our discoverer, who also doubles as a farmer, stumbled upon a creature with a striking resemblance to the legendary chupacabra. The creature barely had any hair on its skin and looked a little strange and perhaps sickly. While many would have thought that they were dealing with a canine suffering from mange, our discoverer insists that this was a chupacabra. According to him, he'd noticed other things which made him sure it could be a chupacabra. For one, his chickens had been mysteriously disappearing in a way that was reminiscent of the work of the chupacabra. We're not exactly sure if he was finding the chickens with their blood drained. If he was, it could entertain the possibility of a chupacabra. Other than that, my team and I believe he may have simply encountered a canine suffering from mange. The disappearance of his chicken could also be associated with the same creature we're seeing, or coyotes and other predators that may live around him. What do you guys think, though? Is that really a chupacabra, or is the farmer simply seeing things that are not there? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Next, we visit Uganda to experience the mystery of the northern and southern hemispheres. This clip was recorded by some individuals at a tourist destination in Uganda. People come here to experience the differences in two hemispheres. First, they stand at the northern side and pour water into this strange funnel thing and then put a flower in it. Once they do that, the flower rotates clockwise, but when they cross over to the southern hemisphere and do the same thing, the flower rotates anti-clockwise. This simple experiment, if we can call it that, demonstrates how our planet's rotation affects things. Julius says it's called the Coriolis effect. I'm not a science whiz, so can someone tell me if he's telling the truth or not? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. This snowboarder was filming after he'd fallen off his board when all of a sudden, this happened. A strange object flew over his head. It was so fast you almost wouldn't notice it, but with the slowdown of the footage, we're able to make it out. It's a flying disc that looks like a saucer. Could it be one of those famed alien crafts, the kind often whispered about in extraterrestrial tales, or is there a more grounded explanation, such as it being a human-made drone simply cruising through the wintry air? Some skeptics say that it's all just movie magic, edited to make us guessing. But what do you think? A hoax or real-life alien craft? My money is on the hoax part, but I'd love to hear you too. Just a quick reminder before our next clip comes. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Sasquatch after you now, would you? This is the ancient Kal Barev Temple. For all of you who are unfamiliar with it, the ancient Kal Barev Temple holds reverence as a sacred site dedicated to Kal Barev, a formidable manifestation of the Hindu deity Lord Shiva. Depicted as a fierce figure with dark skin carrying a skull, Kal Barev is venerated as the ruler of time and death in Hindu mythology. Devotees believe in his role as a protector, and worshippers seek his blessings through devoted prayers and rituals at this revered temple. However, during this tour through the temple, this person filmed something eerie. Behind the statue at the entrance of the temple, a dark entity pokes its head out. Before you jump up and scream, "It's a shadow," you should know that that's not how shadows behave. Also, the space behind this statue is too small for a person to fit in without being spotted. So, what exactly was that dark figure? Is it a manifestation of one of the gods, a demon, or is this whole thing a complete hoax? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Now, let's take a look at another puzzle. In Japan, a mysterious sighting unfolded as a cloud resembling a donut appeared in the sky. The cloud seems to be very white and has a slight glow to it. According to reports, this appeared in the sky right before they had a 7.6 earthquake. While it's very strange, there are some talks that this same type of cloud appeared in Turkey as well just before another earthquake. In some cultures, unusual natural occurrences are often interpreted as signs or messages from the divine. This suggests these clouds could be premonitions or warnings of impending danger. But some skeptics think it's just a blue beam projection, a technology that could potentially create optical illusions in the sky. The paranormal community, however, are convinced that what we are looking at is a portal to another world or universe. Which theory among these three do you agree with? A cosmic warning, a technological illusion, or a glimpse into another dimension? Well, here's a head-scratcher that takes us to the skies. A humanoid figure draped in a long white robe, arms outstretched, floating in the great expanse above. Now that's definitely not your everyday sighting. When it comes to mysterious figures in the sky, the usual suspects are aliens or, of course, a well-planned hoax. But when it comes to this, even the skeptics are throwing a curveball into the mix. They suggest that this could be a blue beam projection. For those new to the channel, blue beam projections refer to a concept rooted in conspiracy theories that stipulate that governments and other powerful individuals or institutions are using advanced technology to create holographic illusions in the sky, often for deceptive or manipulative purposes. Proponents of this theory suggest that such projections could be used to simulate supernatural or extraterrestrial events, leading to widespread confusion and speculation such as this footage here. It's a stretch, I know, but think about it. Once you've done that, please share your thoughts in the comments section, as we'd love to know what you think. Now, the next one is a tale that takes us to the Black Sea, where curious tourists in 2023 stumbled upon a strange sight. They captured footage of not one, but 2 or 3 mysterious beings in the water that resembled none other than the legendary Loch Ness Monster. These creatures had a distinctive small head and long necks, features that resembled the said creature. For those not familiar with it, the Loch Ness Monster was reportedly first seen in modern times in the year 1933. Since then, there have been many alleged sightings of the creature from all over the world with images. This one is no different, but do you think this will be the very first one that leads to the creature? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Next, we've stumbled upon an eerie encounter in the woods that could send shivers down your spine. James Jones, our intrepid YouTuber, recently took a stroll through the mystical forest only to stumble upon a mysterious figure that might make you question the reality of ghostly tales. In this chilling footage, Jones captured what appears to be a shadowy figure, standing stoically amidst the trees. The figure was wearing a hat that resembled the bygone era's military style. Skeptics might argue it's merely a tree casting a peculiar shape, but upon closer inspection, this figure looked darker than the trees around. Its humanoid appearance, coupled with an uncanny stillness, raises the hair on the back of your neck. Could this be one of the fabled ghost soldiers lingering in the woods? What do you think? How far are you willing to go to protect what you own and love? In this clip, we're introduced to 2 bikers who are hanging out somewhere in the woods. Out of nowhere, a man drives in and then starts attacking one of them. The second panics, rides away, but soon returns to join in the fight. The aim is to help his friend. When he arrived, however, he too was attacked and given the same treatment. The video ends here, which has us wondering how the whole encounter ended. It turns out the man was simply attacking them because they were on his land. Interesting, right? If this man proved anything, it's that he was willing to go so far to make things happen, but perhaps he was willing to go a bit too far. Next, we have another mysterious sighting in the air. This time, it's a horizontal-looking object gliding over the woodlands of Colombia. It's the classic story of an unidentified flying object reigniting the age-old question: could it be an alien spacecraft or maybe some otherworldly device? The possibilities are as vast as the starry skies. What do you think of this horizontal marvel? My mind thinks it looks like a frisbee, but the paranormal community says it's extraterrestrial. So let's hear your opinions as well. What do you think we're looking at? Next, you might want to take a look at this strange encounter. As you can see from the clip, someone was burning something when out of nowhere the flames flared up and a bizarre fiery figure took shape. The woman who was standing by the blazing spectacle and the person behind the camera both took a hasty step back, and looking at it, I would have rushed out of the place. But knowing me, I would have returned as well to find out what it was. Having seen it yourself, what do you think it could be? Some in the paranormal community believe this could be a modern-day encounter with a fire demon. According to Aaron, that's most likely the case. But what about you? What do you think is going on here? If you're a bug enthusiast or someone with a curious mind, then prepare to be delighted by the whimsical world of caterpillars that goes beyond their crawling prowess. This man picked up a caterpillar from its terrestrial abode, but unknown to him, he was about to make a discovery he never knew he would make. He accidentally pressed the humble and was met with a tiny squeak that defied the known and conventional soundtrack of the insect kingdom. Who would have thought that these seemingly silent creatures harbored a secret symphony within their tiny, segmented bodies? It's possible that the sound could be a defensive mechanism or a response to pressure, but without more information, it remains a curious and unexpected behavior for a caterpillar. Unless, of course, one of you can explain it all, to which we're all eyes and ears. The next footage was uploaded by a Russian YouTuber with the caption, "Desert Fish." I have believed a lot of strange things in my lifetime. Some of them were true and some are obviously false. But despite how easy it is for me to believe things, I find this a pill too hard to swallow. How do you tell me these are actually fishes swimming through the desert sand? If anything, they should have been cooked as they went through the hot desert sand, but that's not what we see here. The fishes are comfortably moving along the path with the men slightly ahead of them. Unless I'm just being ignorant, this may have to be something else, or perhaps CGI at its best. What do you think? We all heard of the tragic fires that burnt down Chile not long ago. News coming from there now is that the residents are now painting their roofs and properties blue. Now you might be wondering what blue has to do with anything. This has to do with DEW, direct energy weapons. Some conspiracy theories suggest the fires might be a result of these mysterious weapons. They even connect the dots between the Chile fires and the blazes in Hawaii. They claim that these weapons can't detect the color blue, so by giving their homes a fresh coat, they're basically trying to stay one step ahead of potential disaster. Apparently, many billionaires and millionaires have their private homes in blue coatings. I don't know how true that is, and I refuse to investigate. I was afraid to know the truth. I didn't want to get involved in anything sketchy, but then again, what do you guys think? Now, this is a sweet twist on the concept of bee-friendly.
Bee-friendly, mi gente, miren la abeja. No lo puedo creer, no lo puedo creer.
Feast your eyes on this viral donut shop making waves on social media. What's all the buzz about? Well, it's not just about donuts, it's about bees carrying out their pollination process right inside the premises. Just take a peek at these industrious bees strolling on the sugary delights. It's a quirky fusion of the culinary and the natural world. Now, the big question: would you ever indulge in treats from such a place where bees are not just customers but pollination partners? What's your take on this unique approach to coexisting with nature? A bold venture, or perhaps a too close for comfort encounter with your baked goods? Venturing into the icy wilderness of Russia, someone stumbled upon a truly heart-wrenching scene. 3 mountain goats frozen in time, their bodies overtaken by the relentless cold. It's a harsh reality, especially when you consider that temperatures can plummet to a bone-chilling 58 degrees below average near Oymyakon. This remote region is sparsely populated with just 500 to 900 residents as of 2018. It's known for its unforgiving cold, and it's the kind of place that doesn't easily welcome human settlement. And I guess we know now why. Now back to the mountain goats. In their quest for solace from the biting cold, these tenacious beings unwittingly encountered a fate as frigid as the icy winds that surrounded them. a poignant reminder of the brutal, harsh, and sometimes unforgiving nature of life in these harsh, icy landscapes. Well, either that or this is just very good taxidermy. In a time where mysterious sightings continue to proliferate, another enigma unfolds in our night skies. There was a luminous object spotted in the sky one night. It had this rectangular shape, but looked like the moon. It's hard to make it out because it's hidden in the sky, but as it moves, you can see it. While the term UFO simply denotes an unidentified flying object, it doesn't necessarily imply one of extraterrestrial origin. There could be various explanations, ranging from atmospheric phenomena to human-made objects or, in some cases, natural celestial bodies. While I have my theories on what this might be, I'd like to hear yours. What do you think we could be dealing with here? Now immerse yourself in an otherworldly tale captured on footage by a man who claims to have a close encounter with the extraterrestrial kind. In the video, a mesmerizing pink light hovers and dances about, and according to the man behind the lens, this ethereal glow is none other than the elusive alien presence. As the story goes, he remembers feeling very dizzy and losing track of time during this strange encounter. What's even more interesting is the fact that his phone had trouble focusing, almost like something from another world was making it hard to see clearly through the camera. But that's not all. He said he had more footage of his abduction and even filmed their crafts as well. At the end of the footage, the camera falls and you hear footsteps and someone breathing.
The part that kind of freaks me out.
The big question is, could this be a real encounter with aliens, a quick look into the unknown, or is it a mix of different things, maybe natural events or just a trick of the mind? These two men stumble upon a chilling encounter at the corner of an abandoned house. What they find is a creature that straddles the line between human and monstrous. It has a woman-like figure with an otherworldly, ghastly face adorned with razor-sharp teeth. The creature's mouth opens and closes, a haunting spectacle that sends shivers down the spine. Local residents say it's a djinn. If you don't know what that is, it's a creature from folklore that's known to possess great power. It can either be good or evil. Think of the genie from Aladdin, but this time with free will and all the power in the world. Could be disastrous, right? Anyway, what do you guys think of it? In an unexpected turn of events, a trail camera owner retrieved his device from the woods, hoping to find footage of wild animals, but was met with a truly shocking discovery. Staring directly at the camera was a deer, yet far from ordinary. Its antlers and eyes glowed in a haunting shade of orange, imparting an eerie and almost supernatural aura. Looks like the creature just crawled out of the pits of hell. What could this be? Conspiracy theorists and supernatural enthusiasts are having a field day with this one. Theories are flying left and right, with some suggesting it's a spirit animal, others a deer with some otherworldly energy, and another subsect stating that perhaps it's a forest guardian keeping an eye on the trail cam owner. While these theories are wild, there are those on the flip side questioning if this is a case of post-production wizardry. Perhaps someone got creative with editing software, turning a regular deer into a luminescent woodland mystery. Logically speaking, I know the last one is the easiest to believe among all the listed factors, but I also want to believe we're dealing with the supernatural. What do you guys think? How would you react if you casually saw military men in your city casually shooting blanks in the name of a drill? Well, for the inhabitants of Riga, this was no hypothetical question. It's actually happened. It turns out that this is a usual thing in Latvia, and people are informed way before time. That's why everyone is moving around casually as if nothing's happening. I know many who saw this when it first hit the internet were worried, but personally, I want to visit Latvia just to experience this. Who knows, I might even join the army. What do you think? Imagine being at home and expecting a lightning strike based on how the weather has been in the last few hours or days, and then seeing something like this. Looks like a spell cast by a witch or warlock, right? Or am I the only one thinking that? Anyway, I did some little reading around and discovered that this couldn't be further from the truth. It turns out that this is called ball lightning. If you're like me, who was confused when I came across it, a ball lightning is a rare and mysterious atmospheric phenomenon typically observed during thunderstorms. It appears as a glowing spherical object, often ranging in size from a few centimeters to several meters in diameter, and can last from a few seconds to a few minutes. The glowing ball may move erratically, hover, or even pass through solid objects, sometimes accompanied by hissing or crackling sounds. Despite being reported for centuries, ball lightning is still not fully understood, and its exact cause remains a topic of scientific debate. Several theories have been proposed to explain ball lightning, including the idea that it could be a type of plasma, a result of chemical reactions in the atmosphere, or related to electromagnetic fields generated by lightning. Another theory suggests that microwaves created by lightning might form a stable, glowing sphere. Due to its unpredictability and the difficulty of studying it directly, ball lightning continues to be an elusive and intriguing subject in atmospheric science. But what if science is wrong and there's actually someone casting spells? You know what? Never mind me. Let's move on to the next clip. A group of friends was hanging out near the woods one night when one of them, named Matthew, went into the trees to take a quick bathroom break. After some time passed, they expected him to return, but instead, something else emerged from the darkness.
Somebody needs to call the police because this is not fucking your phone. Call the cops on your phone.
Heard someone talking like
What the hell is he doing? That's not Matthew. That's not Matthew. That's not Matthew. I know.
As they waited, nervously watching at the edge of the woods, a figure slowly appeared. The night was thick with mist, making it hard to see clearly, but the figure didn't move like Matthew. They couldn't tell who or what it was, but it definitely wasn't acting like their friend. The figure stood there, shrouded in darkness, its presence unsettling. Then, without warning, it raised its hands up and didn't move any closer. The friends, still recording with their phones, kept their distance, unsure whether to approach or run. So what or who could that have been? They didn't say and only uploaded the clip. So what do you think? Was it someone playing a prank, or could it have been something far more eerie lurking in the woods that night?
Call the police because this is not fucking your phone. Call the cops on your phone.
heard someone talking like
What the hell is he doing? That's not Matthew. That's not Matthew. That's not Matthew.
In this footage circulating the internet, the scene unfolds as an alien-like creature lies on a table, surrounded by scrubbed-in doctors engaging in what appears to be an autopsy. The gravity of the moment prompts a crucial question. Is this a genuine encounter with an otherworldly being, or an elaborate hoax designed to captivate the imagination? Yet, as with many cryptic encounters, the authenticity of this footage is shrouded in uncertainty. The implications of such an event, if real, could be a monumental revelation that we're not alone in the universe. Skepticism, however, prevails as the mystery surrounding UFO sightings, abductions, and purported alien interactions persists. What's your say on the matter? A sea adventure meant for joy and exploration takes a perilous turn as tourists embark on a boat trip to the picturesque Blue Lagoon in Tanzania. The journey, initially filled with excitement, quickly transforms into a harrowing experience when the boat begins to flood midway. Caught in the unfolding drama, passengers find themselves clinging to the pillars of the boat in a desperate bid for safety. The relentless influx of water becomes an ominous threat, prompting a collective effort to navigate the treacherous situation. Outside the boat, an onlooker captures the unfolding ordeal, providing a gripping visual narrative of the sinking vessel. The juxtaposition of the stunning ocean scenery and the imminent danger emphasizes the paradox of nature, its breathtaking beauty and formidable unpredictability.
They are sunk. I never thought I would see these lights.
Okay, stop. Am I crazy? That is not a sun. Look at it. I can't zoom anymore. But look at this. This is not the sun.
When the sun is setting, we usually see a beautiful display of golden, orange, and yellow hues. But why does the sun look this way? A woman was out driving during sunset and captured an image of the sun that showed these incredible colors. This image is particularly striking because the sun appears red or pinkish, creating a surreal and stunning view. The science behind this phenomenon is quite interesting. As the sun sets, its light has to pass through more of the Earth's atmosphere compared to when it's overhead. The atmosphere acts like a filter, scattering shorter wavelengths of light, blue and violet, and allowing the longer wavelengths, red, orange, and yellow, to dominate. This scattering effect is known as the Rayleigh scattering. Additionally, particles in the atmosphere such as dust, pollution, and water droplets can further scatter and filter the sunlight, enhancing these vibrant colors. This is why the exact hues can vary depending on the weather, air quality, and other environmental factors. So while the sun might look red or pink in this particular image, it's all due to the fascinating interplay of light and the Earth's atmosphere. At least, that's what the science says. What do you guys think?
That is not a sun. Look at it. I can't zoom anymore. But look at this. This is not the sun. I am 41 years old. I have never seen the sun look like this. Am I crazy?
Dude, that thing is big, whatever it is.
A man and his family decided to spend a weekend camping in the woods, eager to enjoy some quality time together. The first day was full of fun and adventure, and as night fell, they began preparing to settle in and sleep. But just as they were about to drift off, they were startled by strange, unsettling sounds echoing through the woods. It was loud, almost like a howl or a deep growl, and it went on for what felt like an eternity. The man, sensing that something wasn't right, quickly gathered his family, urging them to the car as fast as they could. Some who've seen the footage are convinced that what they heard was the call of a wolfman, while others believe it could have been a Bigfoot lurking in the shadows. But what do you think? Could it be one of these cryptids, or was it something else entirely?
Dude, that thing is big, whatever it is.
Hold onto your fishing rods, folks, as we cast our line into the riveting tale of a father-son fishing expedition turned heart-pounding encounter. The man went fishing with his little boy at a river. He handed the fishing rod to the boy while he filmed the proud moment when his son caught his first fish. As the boy was pulling his catch to the land, something unexpected happened. A crocodile emerged out of nowhere in pursuit of the boy's fish. The father acted quickly to ensure the safety of his son, rushing to pick him up and avoid any potential harm from the reptile. Unfortunately, the crocodile managed to steal the fish, but they at least got to keep their limbs. It's a wild and sad case, but we can't exactly call the cops on this guy. If you want to go fishing with your kids, stay away from dangerous waters. Now, what do we have here? A pillar of clouds from the sky? The clouds, usually ephemeral and whimsically shaped, have taken on an extraordinary form, ascending majestically into the atmosphere like an otherworldly tower. The sky, once a canvas for the ever-shifting dance of clouds, now hosts this vertical anomaly, prompting questions about the atmospheric forces at play. As observers gaze upward, speculation and curiosity intertwine. Could this be a manifestation of meteorological rarity, an intricate interplay of air currents and moisture resulting in a captivating vertical display, or does it harbor a more mysterious origin, evoking the fantastical realms of the unknown?
Good night.
One night, a man was out and about when he began to hear unsettling sounds drifting from the woods around him. At first, he heard an eerie screeching, sharp and unsettling. But before he could even try to pinpoint the source, the sound shifted into something that sounded like a scream, long and haunting, echoing through the trees. What made it even stranger was the way the sounds seemed to come from everywhere at once. They were moving, surrounding him, yet he couldn't quite catch a glimpse of anything. Just a chilling blend of screeches, screams, and strange shuffling noises in the darkness. These kinds of sounds have been reported by campers and hikers in remote areas, often linked to folklore or attributed to creatures we can't easily explain. Was he hearing wild animals or something else lurking in the shadows?
Good night.
¿Necesitas ayuda? Hola.
A motorcyclist was riding late one night when he stopped at the entrance of a path leading through the woods. He stopped to check his GPS to make sure he was on the right route. You can hear the engine still humming in the background. But here's where it gets eerie. Underneath the engine's rumble, there's a faint sound of someone sobbing. The rider looks around, confused, and calls out, thinking maybe someone's in distress and needs help. But there's no reply, only the sound of weeping. It feels like the tale of La Llorona, the weeping woman. Could it really be her, or maybe a restless spirit lingering in that area? What do you think?
So riddle me this. I've always wanted to say that.
But listen carefully.
What gently hums in the country air, a hidden melody beyond compare, neither seen nor known. In fields it hides a mystical sound that softly abides. The answer to this riddle is the answer to what's responsible for the hum. If you know it, tell us in the comments section. Start your answer with the word riddle so we can easily identify it. We may have something nice for the person with the right answer.
This motherfucker just fell from the sky.
A man was apparently out on a job when this object fell from the sky. The said object had smoke coming from it and it made a hole in the ground where it fell. He shared his discovery with the online community, hoping for some praise and answers, but all he was met with was skepticism and disdain. Many who saw the object are calling it a hoax and arguing that the object looks a bit too man-made for comfort. It seems like the line between reality and attention-seeking fiction is getting blurrier by the day. In cases like these, critical examination by professionals can help distinguish between genuine astronomical phenomena and instances that may involve human-made objects or deliberate attempts to garner attention. Looking at this, though, I give my votes to those calling it a hoax. What about you? What do you think this could be?
Look at this. There's pictures of girls on here, bro. Serial killers. What the?
This footage is definitely unsettling. It shows a guy discovering a collection of photos of girls, each one marked with a number covering the inner frame of the lower bunk bed. There's no explanation given, which leaves us with more questions than answers. Why were these photos placed there? Who are the people in the pictures, and what do the numbers mean? It's possible it's just a strange prank or someone's odd hobby, but without context, it feels eerie and mysterious. Could there be a hidden purpose?
Look at this. There's pictures of girls on here, bro. Serial killers. What the?
When you head out camping in the woods, it's essential to be fully prepared and know exactly where you are. Bringing some kind of protective item like a weapon is often a wise choice, not only for wild animals but for general safety. Take this guy's experience as a lesson. He went camping and woke up in the middle of the night to a terrifying situation. Something was outside his tent trying to get in. Just look at how petrified he is, almost in tears, and all he has for protection is a small pocket knife. The creature outside was hissing loudly, sounding like it might be a big cat. It was scratching at the tent, though luckily the tent material seemed too slippery and scratch-proof for its claws. Smartly, the man didn't risk going outside to check, but he was clearly shaken. I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be his first and last camping trip.
In this next clip, we encounter a seemingly supernatural phenomenon, an ordinary roll of toilet paper suspended in mid-air, frozen in time. No need for supernatural explanations here. This peculiar phenomenon is a masterpiece crafted by none other than humans and the cold. All it took was a dry toilet paper and a splash of water left exposed to the bone-chilling elements. The result, a mid-air spectacle, a frozen masterpiece. It shows weather conditions are getting worse by the day. Hot places are cranking up the heat, and cold places are turning into icy wonderlands. This sure serves as a chilly reminder of the changing climate. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you, now would you? A group of unsuspecting anglers peacefully cast their lines, only to be greeted by a colossal creature gliding beneath the water's surface. They recorded this and placed it on the internet. Once the video started to gain traction, everyone had one question. What could that be? Some suggested the usual suspects, a playful dolphin or perhaps a mammoth catfish. A closer look, however, and you'd realize that the creature in question has little to nothing in common with these creatures. Its form appears to deviate from the familiar profiles of our aquatic friends. As we contemplate the possibilities, it becomes evident that the ocean continues to guard its secrets. Could this be an encounter with a previously undiscovered species or a mythical creature that's not been seen in thousands of years? Either that or it's simply a play of shadows and light teasing our perceptions. What thinkest thou?
Hey! What are you doing over there?
A man was out in the park with his child when something strange happened. The child suddenly turned toward the trees nearby and pointed as if she had seen something. The man, curious and a little unnerved, called out, "Who's there?" while recording the scene on his phone. As he cautiously approached, he noticed movement. There, retreating in the shadows of the woods, was a pale, eerie creature. This wasn't just any creature, it was hunched over, its body bent in a way that was unnatural, and the most unsettling part? Its hands. They were extremely long, almost dragging on the ground as they moved silently away. The creature moved so quietly that you could almost miss it, slipping back into the darkness of the forest. But the man caught it on camera, just enough to leave us all wondering, what could this be? A cryptid lurking in the woods? This next one made my skin crawl. So if you're someone who can't stand seeing things eerily moving together, you might want to skip ahead for about 45 to 60 seconds. Now that's the disclaimer out of the way, so take a look.
What's that? What's that, brother?
What do you think this is? When I first saw this, I didn't know what to make of it until I visited the comments section of the original post. It was then I saw comments like these. Now, I'm no expert, but they may be onto something. There is a real chance that these are indeed worms. If you're here and you work with worms or bait or anything of that sort, can you confirm if that's the case? Thank you in advance.
What's that? What's that, brother?
You hear that? That's my dog barking back at my house because he hears it.
A man who lives alone in a remote wooded area began hearing strange sounds coming from deep within the forest. Curious and a bit concerned, he left his house and walked toward the source, but as he got closer, the sound suddenly stopped, leaving nothing but an eerie silence. He mentioned that this wasn't the first time it had happened. The last time he heard what sounded like a baby crying in the distance. This time it was different. It was a baby babbling. But as before, there were no signs of any baby or even animals around when he looked. He couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that whatever was making these sounds was trying to lure him deeper into the woods. But for what purpose? Is it a creature imitating human sounds or something more supernatural?
You hear that?
In the Ottawa National Forest, a group of friends went camping and woke up one night to strange rustling sounds coming from the trees around them. Curious and concerned, they decided to investigate and managed to capture something unusual on camera. There was a massive figure moving amongst the trees, seemingly trying to stay hidden. The creature was huge and walked on two legs, appearing just as large as a bear, but with a distinctly bipedal posture. The friends were left wondering if they had just encountered Bigfoot or something equally mysterious lurking in the forest. For the longest time, I always thought that when people were cremated, they were just burnt to ashes, but it turns out that's not the full story. Take a look.
This is what you look like after you come out of the crematorium. You're not ashes. After your bones cool off with this fan, your phones are taken to a grinder, which is over here, that grinds everything up. And then you're turned into that little powder that people call ashes.
It's surprising, right? So after the body is burned, what actually happens is that the bones are left behind, and they don't just crumble into ashes on their own. Instead, these bones are cooled down and then placed into a grinder, which turns them into a fine powder that we typically think of as ashes. I never realized that was how it worked. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about that. It's a bit unsettling to think about, but at least now I know, and the truth is out there. Assuming I was not the only one who didn't know.
Here, that grinds everything up. And then you're turned into that little powder that people call ashes.
Still on strange creatures in the dark, take a look at this clip we found on one of our paranormal platforms.
Something's under my house.
The clip starts off with someone stating that there was something or someone underneath his home. He makes his way there, and there are balloons lined up in a straight line leading toward the dark parts of the lower section. Naturally, he was weirded out by this, but that's when he saw it. There were two beady eyes belonging to a small creature down there he couldn't really see. The eyes reflected in the light, and that's all. He was wondering what the creature was, which is why he uploaded it online. Looking at the clip in its current form, it's hard to say what that is, but if the clip is really genuine, like they're making it out to be, then this has to be a paranormal creature. The big question now is, which exact one? I don't have the answers currently, but I'd love to hear your thought. What do you think we're dealing with here?
Mira.
Vean.
Mira.
Mira. Este es un nahual.
Mira.
Espérame, va.
A group of friends were out for a late-night walk when they stumbled upon something truly eerie. Ahead of them, on a secluded path deep within the woods, a figure appeared crouched low in an odd, almost unnatural position. It seemed to be watching them, though it didn't attempt to get any closer. One of the men filming the encounter called it a nahual, a creature rooted in Mesoamerican folklore. Nahuals are often said to be shapeshifters, able to take on animal forms or even appear as dark, elusive beings to protect themselves from prying eyes. Could this really be a nahual?
Mira.
Vean.
Mira.
Mira. Este es un nahual.
Mira.
Espérame, va.
I heard my baby crying for help. Stop it. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Put the goat down. Drop the goat. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with you?
If you thought the meditating crane was funny, wait until you see this TikTok posted by a farm owner. First, you see the farmer sprinting to save a goat that somehow managed to get itself stuck in a tub of water. Then there's a donkey casually bullying a smaller goat by grabbing it in its mouth and running around while the poor goat bleats in protest. But it doesn't end there. Another donkey decides it's time for a high-energy chase, sprinting after the goats. Meanwhile, there's one cow that's been bullied by the rest of the herd. So the farmer has to hand-feed it to make sure it gets its share of food. And just when you think you've seen it all, this horse makes a dramatic leap over a dog as if it's auditioning for an Olympic event. This has to be one of the wildest, most chaotic farms in the world. It's like a live-action comedy show.
So cows love melon. This is honeydew. It's not for you. Back up. Here, baby. They always want to leave you out. I know. There you go, sexy.
Come on, Smokey. Good boy. Yee-hoo. Whoa. Holy
And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we will post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.